Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining us here for Crime 2 News First at 4. I'm Whitney Ward. We begin tonight with an update on the homeless encampment near I-90 and Freya. It's estimated nearly 500 people are now staying on that WSDOT property. And now one organization is bringing in more amenities to that site, including water tanks for the summer months. Crime 2's Amanda Rowley is joining us now live with more on the city's response to these developments. Amanda?
Now, Whitney, Jules Helping Hands brought in these tanks to the homeless encampment off I-90 yesterday. Now, between the two of these tanks, this is 90 gallons of water, but they are expecting more tanks tomorrow, bringing the total to 1,500 gallons of water on site. Now, the co-founder of Jules Helping Hands, Julie Garcia, told me they will be used to keep people hydrated, those who are staying here, keeping them hydrated during those hot summer months. Now, this is the newest amenity here, but it's not the only one. There are makeshift showers, 2 bird's eye view security cameras, and Garcia says they are also installing lights around the camp. The number of amenities here continue to grow, along with the number of people staying here and RVs parked on and around the property. Now, WSDOT owns this land, and it's said from the beginning this camp is here illegally. Spokesperson Ryan Overton says additional amenities are being brought onto the property without WSDOT's knowledge and are not permitted. So I asked him, when will WSDOT be able to step in and stop the development on this property? Here's what he had to say.
So the biggest thing that we continue to watch for is the shelter bed space availability. So as soon as that becomes available, there's been the talk about the new shelter on Trent. As soon as that becomes available, we will take action to remove the encampment with our local partners.
City of Spokane spokesperson Brian Coddington told me this is why it is important to get the new Trent Avenue shelter up and running.
That allows for accommodation of a large number of people. It becomes much more possible to be able to move people off of those shelter space, off of that site into shelter spaces, because there's a place for people to go.
Now, the city wants to move quickly to move people who are staying here at this homeless encampment into the new shelter, but it's still working on a plan for those who say they do not want to move into a shelter. Amanda Rowley, Crime 2 News.
All right, Amanda, thank you very much for the update tonight. All right, let's take things outside because it is perhaps one of the most beautiful days we've seen all spring. Probably just getting into the 70s was the best accomplishment, but Jeremy's out there right now basking in the sunshine. We all had a chance to kind of just enjoy it a little bit today.
Oh, absolutely. But I do have to admit, it does feel a bit warm out here.
I know, it's amazing. What did we finally reach? Like, what was our high temperature?
Are you ready?
Yes? Really? That's it? 71?
Yeah, right? It feels so much warmer out here. I'm out here going, there is no way this is what 71 feels like because I am sweating. Maybe it's the wool suit, but it's a summer suit, so it shouldn't be this hot. Right now, not much going on. Starting to see some of those clouds move into the Cascades. We're going to watch those clouds build overnight, and by tomorrow, we're talking our push of moisture in the morning. Scattered showers start the day. Those move out and temperatures climb. We are once again in the 70s tomorrow afternoon, believe it or not. And as we know today, 70s feels quite warm. Eventually it clears out and Thursday's looking pretty good, but the next 12 hours, we're going to watch those clouds build in. By the time the sun goes down, clouds are overhead. And by the time you wake up tomorrow, it's scattered showers. But by tomorrow afternoon, high temperatures once again climb into the 70s basically today, but with a little more cloud cover.
All right, Jeremy, we'll be ready for it. Thank you very much. And as we continue our Boomtown coverage, we are focusing on growth here in the Inland Northwest. And tonight we're taking a look at Kootenai County, where renters say they are spending up to half of their income on rent payments alone. Crime 2's Janelle Finch was in Coeur d'Alene to talk to people who are now fighting just to keep up with increasing rent prices.
An Idaho nonprofit surveyed residents in the Kootenai County area and found that people were spending more than half of their income on rent payments. I'm down here in Coeur d'Alene talking to renters about those prices, the increase they've seen over the last few years, and what it takes to live in Kootenai County today.
It doesn't look like it's going to end anytime soon, to be honest. It's pretty ridiculous. And it's like I'm looking basically figuring I'm going to be in this apartment for maybe at least another year or two before we can even afford to actually move out and even think about buying a house. and just trying to save anything is just going to be ridiculous. So we're just going to stay put for as long as possible.
According to a Washington Trust Bank economist, Idaho homeowners are experiencing similar financial demands when it comes to paying for their mortgage. A February 2022 study found that Idaho residents are spending an average of 57.2% of their income on mortgages today. In Coeur d'Alene, Janelle Finch, KREM 2 News.
And if you own a home in Spokane County, your yearly property value assessment will be hitting your mailbox this week. It's a simple form that essentially shows you the assessed market value of your home, a figure that will then factor into what you pay in property taxes. Mark Hanrahan just talked to the Spokane County assessor about what people can expect when they receive those notices. Hi, Mark.
Hey, good afternoon, Whitney. Well, Spokane County Assessor Tom Kona says expect some sticker shock when you see your property assessment. Get this, on average across Spokane County, the assessed values of people's homes is up a whopping 30%. The figure you will see for your home is a market value figure for the 2022 assessment, and that figure will be used for your 2023 taxes. So what's that mean for your property taxes next year? Well, simply put, if your home is worth more money and your tax rate is based on your home's value, you will be paying more, but that's just one factor. Your taxes are also determined by which tax district you live in and which levies for things like fire, library, and schools apply to where you live.
We're also, the way we fund our schools is they're a fixed rate loan or fixed rate levy irregardless of any increase. Okay. So in other words, if last year your house was worth $300,000 and you were paying $2.50 per thousand to the school district, this year your house is probably worth $400,000 and you're still paying $2.50 per thousand.
So at this point, it is still too early to tell what your tax bill will be for next year, and that's because tax district budgets for next year aren't in just yet, and there are also a number of levies that will be on the fall ballot that could also impact your rate. So we'll have more from County Assessor Tom Konas and how you can appeal your assessment if you think it's wrong, plus who can apply for a tax exemption. That's coming up on KREM 2 News at 6 tonight. Whitney?
All right, Mark, thank you very much. A Coeur d'Alene food bank at the Altar Church is experiencing shortages. Normally, the bank holds enough on site to feed up to 100 families, but yesterday, the manager there said the shelves are pretty much empty except for 1,500 boxes of macaroni and cheese. She says the shortage is due to a lack of donations and an uptick in people who are needing assistance just to feed their families. So if you would like to help, donations of non-perishable food and money, of course, can also be dropped off there at the Altar Church between 11 a.m. and 2 p.m. every Monday. Meanwhile, Kootenai County property owners who are unsatisfied with their 2022 value assessments have just a few weeks left to appeal. Property values have reportedly skyrocketed in Kootenai County, where some residential property owners have learned that the assessed values of their homes has increased by hundreds of thousands of dollars in just 1 year. Once those values are received, homeowners can appeal if they feel there's something wrong with the valuation. For example, if the size of the property is marked wrong, then the value could change. Appeal forms must be received by the Board of County Commissioners by 5 p.m. on June 27th. All right, coming up, we're introducing a Spokane company that combines the periodic table and spices, how they're doing it and how it's working next. Plus, one nonprofit group is doing what they can to prevent deaths at the hands of gun violence. Coming up at 4:30, we're taking another look at Stop the Bleed kits that could be making their way into schools.